We will talk more about this owning a home in one of the next videos, so let's focus on real estate investors here. When buying a property from the real estate websites, you usually have to take care of everything yourself, right? Tenant and whatnot. In many videos, we tell people that that's a bad idea, which is also what you mentioned, because they severely underestimate the amount of work that comes with owning a property. So maybe, can you give us a little bit more details about the self-management versus buying a managed property?
I can. Yes, I can. Definitely, I can. There are concerns and challenges when you're investing by yourself into a property. For example, how could you even afford such a property? That's the first question for many people, right? So you have to go through a calculation, right? So you have to see, is this really the right investment for me? Second concern will be probably, where do I find such a property? Because most people think, oh, it had to be close to me, it had to be in front of my door. But in some cases, it's just not the right one for you, right? You end up paying way more, you don't like it. It's from the data or from the numbers doesn't make any sense, right?
If people are just looking across their street for available properties, they're just severely limiting themselves for actually no reason, because there's a lot of good properties all around Germany, but maybe there's none available in your street or in your area currently.
Exactly, and this is the thing, because people think, oh, I have to do it close to me, I have to do it in my area in front of my door. Perfect. It's not going to happen, right? In most cases, this doesn't happen. And this is why people, as you say, they limit themselves really to look around, to look in Germany. There are great areas, there are great cities where you can even benefit from that property, where you're having a great cash flow. So my suggestion also, don't limit yourself in that. But of course, this is another question. Also, where to find reliable constructor or handyman if a renovation is due. So imagine, I don't know, the tenant calls you, Axel, at 3 o'clock in the morning and says, my toilet flush just broke. You cannot wait with that for weeks or months.
What am I going to do about it?
Really? So you're going to be like, oh, I want to sleep at that time. But the thing is that even for this, for all the craftsmen, it's super hard to get an appointment with them right now. You will need to wait for weeks or months. And this type of damage, you can't wait.
You can't wait.
You can't wait. You have to do it right away.
Also, if the heater breaks right now, you can't wait. Otherwise, the tenant has a legal right to not pay rent.
Exactly. But I mean, if the heater breaks right now with those temperatures, what we're having, it's a big concern. Big concern. So also, you don't know if the tenant, it might happen, the tenant doesn't pay the rent. What happens? You have to pay. Right? You have to pay way more to the bank than usual. So this is also a big challenge, what I see.
And just to show you that we practice what we preach, I live in Munich, the business is in Munich, and just recently I bought a property in Düsseldorf. So I'm not buying in Munich either, just because I'm living here.
Exactly, exactly. I think it's a great topic, what you just said. But also the financing part. I believe the financing part is the heart of an investment. Really, very, very important. I mean, you can confirm that as well.
Will make or break your investment. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. I always say the heart of this investment, because if this is not right, the whole investment is not good.
And the right financing is not about the lowest interest rate. That's what people get wrong all the time.
That's true. We're going to talk about this also later, comparing the rents, the interest rates. But very important. And also, again, reserves, check the reserves, what property manager is behind that. So these are all concerns, what you have to do if you do it by yourself. And one of the big factors, and very important, Germany gives you, again, so much benefits. The legal situation tells you, okay, you're creating space for people here. We're going to give you all these tax advantages. And you have to be on top of it. And for someone who's not from here, even due to the language, knows about the laws and the rights here, you end up paying way more, right? You don't even receive any money back from the government. So really use that. And having someone who manages your property, you can get all this package in one. So you don't really have to worry about. If you do it by yourself, you have to be on top of that. You have to get that knowledge. I mean, I always say knowledge is key, that's for sure. But time, again, we don't have that much time nowadays, and it's very important really to think about it. I'm a fan for a managed property. I would do that. Just have a peace of mind, and there's someone else who takes care of my property.
A great example is a lawyer here in Germany that advertises, sometimes in front of our real estate videos, basically talking to tenants that they should send him their rental contracts, and then he's gonna sue the landlord because there's always a mistake, right? And this is why I wouldn't draft a rental contract myself or wouldn't download one from the internet. And this is also why I think a managed property is severely better, especially for expats with a language barrier. Because what are they going to do about it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the tenants are very protective here in Germany. You know that, as I mentioned right now with the lawyer. There are certain offices here in Germany, they protect the tenants as well. So you as a tenant can go there, suit for whatever reason, and as you mentioned also with the contract, I mean, there are plenty of contracts online to download it. I wouldn't do that either, because again, you have to be on top of all the laws and rules. Also, you have the option to increase the rent, right? Every 2 to 3 years, up to 20%. And you want to be on top of that. I mean, it's work, right? So you have to see, is it the right contract I'm putting in, or should I put something else? So,
is it outdated?
Exactly. So if you really want to get a benefit out of that, get a professional, get an expert. I mean, our clients love that. We're going to talk about that option as well, but they love that, having a peace of mind and saying, okay, there's someone else who takes care of this, right?
For just a couple of euros per month.
Really. I mean, you can even deduct that on taxes as well. So at the end, it's just a zero.